Messenger audio. Messenger audio. Messenger audio.
Okay, welcome to this session of marriage and psychology. So today it's another day for us to, focus on some of those little things that kind of at the same time push us out or keep us in. And this is nothing but communication. So once again, you're welcome as you join wherever you're watching. And someone was asking because he heard it from someone. So if you could do me a good or a favor and try to invite anyone that you know or a friend of yours who might be interested or who might probably take this as useful for himself or for herself. And so today, as I said, we will be focusing on communication. When I started this, I mentioned, I said, I want to focus on not the symptoms of what is going on, but I want us to go to the root problem of why the symptoms are showing. For example, if marriage is in a serious distress, now there's depression, there's anxiety, there's all kind of emotions are out there. These are not the problem, but if you want to know why those things are showing up there, you got to go to the root problem. There must be something happened before that really got there. Yeah, so last week we talked about marriage and sex, and definitely probably I should have done this before I talked about that, because like I said, sex is in the mind, but that could not happen. But there will be communication, both a verbal and body movement and the rest. So if that is the case, it means communication is very, very important in what we call marriage, because that's the only way we try to relate. We try to let someone know that you want to talk, or something is wrong, or something is going on. And that's why at the beginning I said, before you even get married, that's why I talked about communication before marriage. So you need to communicate everything, talk about everything. You don't want to leave anything, and discussed or not really talked about. And that's why through that you are able to kind of capture the mind of of your fiance, the mind of that person that you say you love. So you need to do that, talk about it. And so, but now after the marriage, now communication, has not stopped, because it's communication that lets you through. Then it's communication that will keep you, moving forward. And so, and that's why, I said, I want us to look at the effective way, effective way. So if you're talking about communication, there are communications. We try to communicate sometimes, but there's an effective way of communicating with one another. Give you an example. When there's a little problem, the other person will shout or raise voice. And because there is no understanding, before you know, the other person will respond back with another loud voice, or not even waiting until that person say, it's like two voices are coming, and you kind of wonder who is listening. Yeah, you kind of wonder who is listening. This is talking, another person, both of them are talking at the same time. So you wonder who is listening, who is talking to who, So, I mean, communication in this aspect is not effective, and it's not going to be fruitful. It's not going to be helpful. So that's why I said, communication is vital before and when two, those people who intentionally, so when the two have climaxed to an intentional relationship as husband and wife, it is not a time for a checklist. You want to now, those expectations that I told you, you need to throw them, you need to just, empty them before you come into. So those expectations, now you don't want to come with. It's not time for a checklist, but a time of learning from one another. What special thing is this one bringing? What special thing is this one bringing? What am I lacking that I could, put my best for the other person to kind of learn from me? Okay, it's very important. So of course, in doing that, when it comes to, that was as you come, you try to now overlooking minor errors, talking about issues that may arise that are off the values or the family values that probably you talked about them before you got married. So there are those issues that are off the radar of your values. So you want to talk about them. So, and forgetting, always when you've talked about something or something happened, you talked about it, you want to throw it off. Throw it off. So that's why I say forgetting the past and always focusing on the common goals. And what's the common goal? The common goal is now, sometimes, I tell, intending couples or even those who are already in postmarital counseling, I'll ask them, in 20 years to come, where would you want to see yourself? So your answer is your focus. Your answer is your goal. I want to see in 20 years, I want to see that my children, at this age, or they have graduated from this, or like they are this, or we are able to get somewhere, we are this, we are that. So this is your focus. So you want to forget, throw off anything that is, on your radar, on your family value radar, so you focus. So for effective communication and a fruitful ending, the two who are the couple, okay, needs to watch out for the throwing of words to each other. That was why I said, when this one is talking, this one is talking, it's not going to work. They have to watch out of throwing of words. Instead, to show mutual understanding and graceful listening and expression. Graceful listening and expression. So definitely, you cannot avoid conflict in marriage. There's no way out. In life, conflict It's always there. It's inevitable. We cannot avoid conflict in marriage. So it's because of that, because of the conflict that might arise in whichever form, is what calls for effective communication, for fruitful communication. So that's why, I said, to have discussed about, marriage and sex last week. So that's why I say, even for that to work, there has been a fruitful and effective communication. And the fruit of that communication is now seen in the result of what is going on, at that very particular moment. So, very, very important when it comes to communication. I know that culture can now play a role in terms of, oh well, in my culture, well, man, woman has to listen, or a man, when it comes to, if you want to have a marriage that is of a standard, a marriage that is quality, a marriage that is unique. Listen, I know culture is very important, but sometimes we need to ignore culture. Sometimes. I don't mean to say always, but sometimes. Because sometimes there are things that would when it comes to culture, that that even want to tamper with your belief. Okay? So, and someone was sharing with me, yesterday, and he said, his friend was sharing with him about his his premarital counseling that he had, and that was almost getting him to forget about the wedding that time. He was about to give it up, because when they went for the premarital counseling, the pastor was talking about submission, that he was focusing on the woman, that everything is about the woman. Woman should respect woman, should this woman, should that woman, should that. So, and the woman was like, what's going on? Are we here just for me or for us? So now you see, it's communication. Probably that person, lack how to organize those informations that he needs to give to these people, who are about to make a home, who are about to make a family, who are about to become, husband and wife, who might, in the process become father and a mother. So you want to always, before you give any information out, you want to look at it. You want to kind of evaluate what you want to say. So that is why, today I feel, for our communication to be effective, we need to kind of pay attention to some key things. That's need to focus or to pay attention on key things. And there are 4 basic, things to focus. To focus on that, if you want to have an effective communication and a fruitful, ending in whatever form of discussion, whatever happened, whether misunderstanding or probably, you want to, have a heart-to-heart discussion, or you want to kind of talk about something that has to do with your progress in the home, or as husband and wife. There are 4 things that I always, I would point out for us to know. And number 1 is the showing of understanding. It's kind of paying attention to each other. It's just like confrontation in counseling. Confrontation in counseling it's not like kind of challenging the person, try you want to provoke. No, but it's understanding. Confrontation is kind of trying to put that person in your position. You're trying to put that person in your position, understanding that person in a way. So when it come to communication, so there's good to show understanding, you know, and the second thing is, the first thing is showing you show understanding. Then the other thing is, how do you express yourself? You that is showing that understanding, you that is trying to kind of understand that person. How do you express yourself? Very, very important. And the next thing is, now you have there's an expression, and another expression went like kind of there's a response from that person who was talking, and there's a response by that person who was showing understanding in a way of expression. Then the next step is now what form of this, I mean, there's going to be a discussion now that we have established a need to talk. We have established a need to talk. So that's what is called, that is what I call, skillful discussion. You need to now, look at, how your discussion is going to be much more creative, much more, mature, much more with full of understanding. And that's why, when it comes to show of understanding, it's all through any discussion or any form of discussion that you guys are having, and the last thing, of course, because sometimes I say it's a problem that normally comes. So now the last thing is, how do you resolve a problem? Resolving a problem. So most people go to study, peace and conflict resolution, or peace studies and conflict resolution. People go to study that. But what has that really? How far have we gone after all this knowledge? How far have we gone? So if you want the society to be a society that people would be better lived, if you want a better society, then definitely it is not, you don't go study peace and conflict resolution to go and talk about it in the class and leave it there. You want it to be, in the home. Teach it in the home. If the home is better, then you're going to have a better society. Yeah, you're going to have a better society. It's not, we'll go out there and say, honey, darling, Mr. X, Mr. This, Mr. Z. But when you come back home, it's fire. So you see now, out there we live in pretense, hypocrisy. But we come back home, rat and cat. So but the truth is, we want to learn, we want to know how to talk to each other, so that now when we go out there, people can and know that yes, there's good, there's decency in terms of what we're doing out there. So I said, the four key things, you show understanding. Of course, there's need for a good expression from the other person, and of course, there's need for a skillful discussion, and of course, we need to know how to resolve, any problem that might arise or issue. So I'm going to just look at few things under the show of understanding, just few things, because this might take us like 4 weeks talking about it. But today I'll just look at the first one, showing of understanding. So to show understanding, that normally when there's a problem, when people are emotionally tense, when people are emotionally stressed out, the number one thing is each person wants to express himself. So, we start to, we adults tantrum, we normally see tantrum in children, but that's where you see adult tantrum. That's when adults, throw their tantrum out there. But as an adult, we do not need tantrum. We don't need to throw out, we don't need that. It is not helpful. It is not, children try to do that so that they want to have our attention. They want to draw our attention to themselves. But for an adult, throwing of tantrum is not healthy at all. It doesn't help. So that is why you don't want to even go there. If there's a problem. So when the two people are talking, to show understanding, the first thing is, as soon as you, that is not the person that is talking, and someone is talking, you need to listen in a way that shows strong interest. You need to listen in a way that shows interest, what we call quality listening, intentional listening. You want to give a whole of your attention at that time for that person when he is talking. Let him know that you are there. You don't want him, you don't want that person who is at that moment emotionally stressed out. He is talking and you are there, you are doing something you don't care, or maybe you're on your phone, or no. That is not effective. That is, you're only adding fire. You are still making that person to still get angry at that very particular moment. But no, you want to, if it means, I know in a culture that I'm coming from, looking at someone in the eye is like kind of disrespect, but here you want to look, the person needs to look to you eye to eye. So that now, because that person, you want to tell that person that you are here, I'm here. You're not trying to tell me that, go ahead, I'm here, I'm listening, I'm with you. But you are not saying anything. You are there, quiet, listening, getting all the words, getting all the verbs, getting all the adjectives, getting all the, you're trying to pay attention to all the emotions that he is saying. Try to pay attention to that. And another thing that while you're showing, while you're doing that, try to show that truly you are understanding that person. Number one is you're listening. Number two, show that you are understanding what he's saying. Sometimes, you can say, okay, that's another way of telling that person that you are, but you don't want to say, then what? No. Okay. Yeah. Or if you don't want to do that, you can just be quiet, but just make sure the person knows that you are attentive to him, but show understanding at that very particular moment. Then the third thing, experience the other person's view. As a person try to talk, try to experience his view. Yeah, he's trying to say, from his own, whatever that is coming up from the heart, whatever or wherever it's coming from. But you want to understand what is his, what are those opinions, what are those views that he's trying to say. Then, of course, in trying to show understanding at that moment, you want to now know what are the desires at that moment, what are his thoughts at that moment, what are his concerns at that moment, what is he desiring at that moment, what is he desiring. So those things you need to kind of pay attention to. What is he desiring? And of course, the last thing what you want to know is accept and make corrections that is gracious, or graciously make corrections graciously. When I say graciously, it's not like you say, oh, why should you then be mad at that? Why are you upset? Why are you angry then? No. You are not helping matters. In showing of understanding, you want to listen, you want to be there, you want to show that person that you are understanding what he is saying, and you want to now, of course, experience the view of the person, and at the same time, pay attention to his thoughts, his concern, and his desires at that moment. Because, the Bible says, I'm not preaching. The Bible says, from James, I'm just trying to paraphrase, that what causes quarrels and fight amongst you? And the answer is that is from the desires, your desires, the desire that comes from you, from interest, from your interest. So that is why you want to know the desires of that person, the interest of that person. You want to pay attention to that. What is he demanding? So it's when you have listened to him, that's where the next step that I'll be talking about it now, to express how you need to express yourself. But you want to listen first. Your listening matters a lot, because that person knows that you are with him. That person knows that you care at that moment. That person knows that, yes, how he is feeling, you also care about how he is feeling or how she is feeling at that moment. That person knows that, yes, you care. But when the two are throwing of words, I know you are this, I know you are that. Can't you listen? Can't you that? Can't you? So none of you is listening to the other. So, but the best thing, or the fruitful thing, or the effective way to do it, to handle this, is to show understanding. Pay attention. Intentional. Be intentional in your listening. Be intentional in your listening. Because what will come the next is now, after, because he knows that you are there. So he's not going to continue going. He's going to, because the more he talks, is just trying to bring out those things. So gradually he's going to pipe down. He's going to pipe down. So when he pipes down, that's when you kind of, prove to him that, yes, you are there. Then how do you do that? Like I said, we're going to be talking about that, but yet you're trying to now you're showing them that you listen, you've heard him, you want to say those thoughts. Say those thoughts. Say those concerns. Say those things that he has been mentioned. You want to say them. You want to now kind of say it back to the person. But remember, not that, oh, you said that I'm this. Oh, no. If truly you've understand that person, you heard all he said, you want to now kind of quietly, like I said, graciously, now put yourself in his shoes before you kind of say exactly how you are feeling. I heard you. If it's your wife, because we're talking about marriage, right? I heard you. You said, I didn't listen to you. I just walk out of your side. Yesterday I did this. Of course, I was not, concerned about you. I know you want to. I'm sorry that or those things made you to think that way. I know that this word saying sorry is a very big thing to some of us. I'm sorry that you're feeling that way. Is that how you're feeling right now? Because I can see you're angry, you're upset, so I'm sorry that you are feeling that way. Did I get what you're saying right? If you get it right, the person will immediately say, Oh yeah, of course. That's how I'm feeling. I'm sorry that you're feeling that way. You know, I was thinking this, and now because that's you, because you're not going to say but, you're not going to say if, you're not going to say because. No, 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 no. I was thinking this way, and doing that, I didn't know that it was really making you upset. I didn't know that it was really taking you off the rod. I didn't know that. I'm sorry that you went that way. And that's how it makes me now. That's how it makes so, because now the person is going to listen to you. Because if you don't listen to that person, this person is not going to listen to you. But because you took your time, you paid attention, you showed that the love that you used to say before, I love you, darling, or whatever. Now the person is seeing it clearly. That person is seeing it clearly. So communication is more than just saying, throwing of words. It's more than that. It's understanding each other in communication. I know in education, they will say communication, for communication to be effective, is when this one says something and this one is able to comprehend or is able to kind of respond back, or when there's feedback, then there is communication. But in marriage, it's more than that. It goes beyond that. Because in marriage, if it's just about when this person, when there's feedback, so the problem is now, what type of feedback are you getting from the other person? That's the problem. So we are talking about feedback that brings healing. We're talking about feedback that is fruitful. We are talking about feedback that can last, that can make that moment, fruitful. That moment that can cure at that very particular moment. So very, very important when it comes to communication in marriage. Very, very important. So I know as we go on with this, I'm going to next week I'm going to talk about expression. How do we express the skills of showing of understanding or effective communication. Because when someone is mad, is angry, and they say, "Oh, I love you," I don't think if that love at that moment was going to make anything. I don't think so. Or at that very particular moment, you just decide, you just go and I mean, we need to win. That's why I said it's not about the symptom. We want to go to the root. We want to take care of the root problem before we go into the symptom. So don't forget, it is 12, p.m. Uh, Central Time, and of course, in Nigeria, Ghana, and the rest of them is going to be 7 o'clock at this very hour, because our clock has been changed, so we are a little bit 1 hour ahead of you guys. So we are now 7 hours ahead of you guys back in Nigeria. We used to be 6 hours, but now we are 7 hours. So when it is 12 Central Time here, it's going to be 7 p.m. That's 7 o'clock in the evening. That will be on time. So I hope, like I always say, these pieces of information is adding to the quality of someone's relationship. It's my prayer and my hope that we would have that happy and joyful and that quality moment with our wives, and of course, as I talk about this, remember, this can also be helpful in our relationship outside our marriage. So take advantage of that. So thank you for your time, and I pray that you come my way again next week. So have a wonderful Thanksgiving here in the United States of America, and anywhere that they are sharing with the United States, because this is This coming Thursday is going to be Thanksgiving, week. So eat your turkey. Be careful. Make sure you pay attention to the spices you're going to use so that you don't enjoy it now and the next day you are you are in the hospital. Watch out those spices. Thank you. Bye bye. Appreciate you.